You're watching Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones, here with you. Thanks for joining us. We are talking potential roster moves for your Seattle Seahawks. I got 4 free agent targets that could be signing with Seattle in just a matter of weeks. We'll examine those, tell you about the possibility in just a bit. Before we do that, folks, if you want to piss off a 49ers fan, here's your opportunity to do so. Like today's video. Our frenemy, Chase Sr., the guy calling the shots over at the 49ers report, he said to me, Tyler, the most likes you've gotten on a video this month is only 411. There is no way you guys could get 1,000 likes on a video. And I said, Chase, watch me. The 12s will prove you wrong. So we need to more than double that in order to do so. We got to get 589 more likes than we did on the video that got 411 likes. Can we make it happen? Like this video, prove Chase wrong, piss off a Niner fan. We'll get started here on Seahawks Today. Let's set the scene for you of the situation the Seahawks are in right now. Cap space is close to $9 million, about $8.5 to be exact. And if you've been following what's been going on with the Seahawks the last couple of weeks, they've been restructuring. They've been making some changes. A restructure for Jaron Reed, a restructure for Draymond Jones, and we're expecting some extensions to be happening in the coming weeks as well with the likes of Julian Love, DK Metcalf, among others here. And so that will free up even more money, which means, to put this all into context, that the Seahawks will position themselves to be able to sign 1 or 2 more players before the season begins, or potentially make a trade, whatever it may be. So with that said, what could they do? Well, here's 4 options. Let's start with Yannick Ngakoue. Yannick is expected to sign, wherever he goes, a prove-it contract, if you will, somewhere in the range of about $4.5 million on a 1-year contract. So the Seahawks can easily afford to pay that right now if they so choose. And think about Mike Macdonald's track record when it comes to older pass rushers. We've talked about that in this program previously with what he did in Baltimore with Justin Houston, with Kyle Van Noy, with Jadeveon Clowney. Yannick Ngakoue fits that same mold of an older pass rusher on a cheap contract that could excel and get back to his former self. A bounce-back campaign, if you will. We've seen Yannick Ngakoue play at a high level before. He was a Pro Bowler back in 2017, led the NFL in forced fumbles that season, been a journeyman, if you will, playing for the Bears, Colts, Raiders, Ravens, Vikings, and Jags over his career. And you don't have to go that far to find when Yannick Ngakoue was playing at a high level. 9.5 sacks back in 2022. To kind of give some context for you folks, 9.5 sacks, that would have tied for the team lead in sacks for the Seahawks last season. So if you could sign him, get 9.5, you'll take that. 10 sacks back in 2021, 8 sacks in 2020. Yannick Ngakoue, you can never have too many pass rushers. A veteran that wouldn't cost you a ton, that could come in and play right away. I like this idea. What do you guys think? Your chance to be John Schneider here on Seahawks Today. Should Seattle sign Yannick Ngakoue? You got 2 options here. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Folks, we are closing in on 52,500 subscribers here on Seahawks Today. If the Seahawks sign a free agent, or in particular one of these guys here, we're going to have you covered. We're going to bring you a video here on the channel. We may very well go live, potentially speaking. We're already going live twice a week, every Wednesday and Friday. We're bringing you daily news and rumors. We got our Madden Sims, Q&A mailbags, and more. The most interactive YouTube channel around. You won't find coverage anywhere else like you will here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. Lock us in here on the channel. Next up, another edge option for Seattle, about the same price tag as Yannick Ngakoue as well, is Emmanuel Ogbah. Now, if you recall, a couple of years ago, he got a big deal for the Miami Dolphins. Ultimately, they cut him, and so now he finds himself, after an injury-riddled 2023 campaign, also trying to prove himself. And when I scour the landscape across the NFL, Ogbah, I personally think, is one of the more underrated players in recent memory. Every team he's been on, he's made better, and he's been a part of a championship culture. He played a key role in the Kansas City Chiefs' first Super Bowl title in this Mahomes era on that defense there in Kansas City. So he's seen what it takes to get there. He's been there, done that, as they say. A former second-round pick by the Browns out of Oklahoma State. Went to the Dolphins most recently, was with the Chiefs before that. And here's the production. Last year, even with the injuries, still finished with 5.5 sacks. The year prior to that, only played 9 games, had 1 sack. And then back-to-back 9-sack campaigns in 2021 and in 2020. If he can stay healthy, which is a big if, 9 sacks is certainly doable for Emmanuel Ogbah, as far as I'm concerned, with this Seahawks defense and where he could excel there. Who's a player the Seahawks should sign? We've gone over a couple names. We've got 2 more to get to before we sign off here. Shout them out in the comment section and let us know who you'd like to see the Seahawks add. One player we are thrilled to have in Seattle is Byron Murphy, and his jerseys are on sale now at chatsports.com/Murphy. We have the home jerseys, we have the road jerseys, we got men's, women's options, all sorts of different shapes and sizes for you. He's going to wear the number 91s. Just add a 9 to that. We got that covered for you. And you're going to get free shipping as well. Go see for yourself. Chatsports.com/Murphy to get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. It's chatsports.com/Murphy. Next up is Connor Williams at the offensive guard and center position. Most recently played center with Miami, but prior to that was an offensive guard. In both positions, he's played at a high level. And if you bring Connor Williams in, this would provide some flexibility, a guy that can play both positions, and also some stability to the offensive line. If we're going to be honest with you, you look at this offensive line situation for Seattle, you got Charles Cross as your starting left tackle, and you're hoping that he has a big year this year. Like Tomlinson, there's question marks. How much are you going to get out of him? Is he going to be what he was with the Jets, or is he going to be at the Pro Bowl level he is in 2021? Olu Olutimi's still got a lot to prove. Second-year center, his first year as the full-time starter. You got an ongoing battle for the right guard spot with some young guys like Haynes and Bradford. And then there's Abraham Lucas. Is he going to stay healthy? Is he going to rehab in time? All that remains to be seen. If you sign Connor Williams, you are feeling a whole lot better about this offensive line, and you have some depth that you wouldn't have previously. Connor Williams last year was the highest graded interior offensive lineman in the NFL by PFF with an 86.5 grade, only allowed 1 sack, only allowed 1 hit on the quarterback, and he's quite the leader as well. Connor Williams, well respected across the National Football League. He's a name to keep an eye on, and if he remains available in free agency throughout training camp, if you have an injury, go down, whatever it may be, to the interior of the offensive line, Connor Williams is going to be your first phone call. Speaking of the Seahawks offensive line, what's your confidence level in this group right now? What do you think? Scale it for me 1 through 10. I'm not feeling great, if I'm going to be honest with you. About 6.5 or 7 is the grade I'd go with. Give me your grade in the comment section. Let us know. Speaking of question marks, the linebacker position has become a big one for Seattle over the last several weeks. We've seen with Jerome Baker, still has not fully recovered yet from the wrist injury he suffered in Miami. He's expected to be back in time for training camp. Then Terrell Dodson had an injury in the offseason programs. They're expecting him to be back in time for training camp as well, but we shall see, right? That leaves a void in the linebacker room. Do you really want to trust John Radigan? I don't know about that, Jim. Leonard could help stabilize that linebacker room a lot and make you feel a lot better about this situation. The resume is pretty dang good for Shaq Leonard. Previously with the Colts and Eagles, a 3-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time first-team All-Pro, 2018, 2020, and in 2021. You go back to the 2018 campaign when he was first-team All-Pro for the first time, led the league in forced fumbles, solo tackles, and combined tackles. Last year was not great as he went to Philly and had a total of 88 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. But even coming off a campaign that wasn't his best last year, I would still trust him more than I would a rookie in Knight, who we'll see. I'm optimistic about him, but it's going to be a learning curve. And then John Radigan, who has been more of a special teams guy. Shaq Leonard, even if Dodson and Baker come back healthy, would be a very good number 3 linebacker option for the Seattle Seahawks. We'll keep an eye on him. If you enjoyed today's show, you want to stick it to a Niners fan, like the video. You know what to do. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.